Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Never Look an American in the Eye, Flying Turtles, Colonial Ghosts, and the Making of a Nigerian American, a Memoir, by Okey Ndibe, narrated by Peter J. Fernandez. English Dreams, Communist Fantasies, and American Wrestling. I spent much of my childhood drifting in and out of dreams. Sometimes I pined for a piping hot plate of pounded yam and egusi soup filled with succulent meat, beef bones with coagulant marrows I could suction into my mouth with just the right sucking action, soft fresh fish that melted on the tongue, and chewy smoked fish or hard stockfish that one day I overheard an elder castigate as nutritionless, even though he saluted it for working the dentures to stalwart strength. I dared to dream in the day, wide-eyed, often as I listened to my parents' catechism that a good name, which they had in ample supply, surpassed riches, which they didn't have. Sometimes, seized by boldness, I disdained dreams of food. Even though I lay on a mat, huddled with my siblings in a cramped room, I entertained no curbs to my dreams. Many a night, ensconced in that room that at times reeked of piss, often from my production line, I fought off the languor of sleep. Awake or half asleep, I prodded myself to turn away from mere matters of food. Instead, I cast my mind to more ambitious planes. Sometimes my fancy would fasten on a car. I would picture myself owning a marvel of an automobile. It was always a Mercedes, a Citroën, or a Volvo. I imagined myself behind the wheel, my hands lightly placed on the steering wheel, the chassis a gleaming wonder, the engine as soft and dainty as the English accent. When the car ran into potholes, it did not whine. Bumps did not shake it, could not speak to it. Sometimes I yearned for yet grander escapades. I would block out the symphony of snores that filled the stifling sleep room. Then I would ready myself and soar, off to faraway places. That was how, sometime just before I entered secondary school in 1973, my itch for America began. America had not been my first childhood dream. Long, long before America, it was England that occupied my dreams. Nor was America even in second place. That position belonged, once upon a time, to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. By the mid-1970s, each of these three foreign addresses seemed to me mythically remote, and for that reason, alluring. Each enchanted me in its own manner. In those days, Britain was the country everybody called Obodo Oyibo, the land of the white people. These were the pale people who years ago had journeyed by sea from their far-flung land and emerged like ghosts to turn our lives upside down, to conquer and rule us. They represented imperial power. As far as we were concerned, they were the ones who, in Senegalese novelist Sheikh Amidou Kana's ambiguous adventure, bewitched the African soul. A major female character in that fine novel seeks to learn from Europeans the art of conquering without being in the right. For us, the British Isles summed up that other world that lay well beyond the borders of our unsettled lives. It was the world of white magic, white mystery, and white power. If it was said that somebody was traveling to Obodo Oyibo, it was understood by all that the adventurer was headed for Britain. This country was so powerful it had other names: England, the United Kingdom. It had the best of everything in the whole wide world, including the world's two best universities, Oxford and Cambridge. It was said then, in awe, that Britain's two venerable universities were places where, on occasion, a man's head exploded when he tried to read too many books. To stop
Sample complete. Ready to continue?